My name is John Malpede from LA Poverty Department, which is the overlord of the Skid Row History Museum and Archive. And LAPD started as a performance workshop 40 years ago for people living in Skid Row, and it was part of Inner City Law, which is a free law clinic that was done down on San Pedro and 6th. And when the lawyers weren't around, we just pushed everything out of the way and started making performances. And we were also involved in in a lot of the activism that was coming out of that office at the time, around well, at that time it was around welfare issues. But basically, if it weren't for the consistent presence of activism in this neighborhood, it would no longer exist. Because if you look at the high-rise, this is across the street or up the block, that was a residential neighborhood that had originally been like fancy Victorian homes of bankers, and then as the city grew, it became divided up into boarding houses. So it was a working class neighborhood. A lot of Native Americans, a lot of LGBTQ folks. John Fonte wrote all his books from up there, and when that was declared a blighted area and flattened and turned into the corporate place that it is now. And then there was a desire on that great success and major displacement of people, there was a desire to do the same thing here. And the first activists around Skid Row, which I mentioned, Inner City Law Center, that grew out of the hippie kitchen or the Catholic worker movement. And they were the people who got the city, surprisingly, to stop that plan and instead save all the housing in Skid Row and buy up the slumlords and turn it into subsidized affordable housing, and that saved the neighborhood. And since then, we were sort of I started before any of those hotels were open, so we were really involved in all that stuff. And so arts and activism is the only reason Skid Row exists, otherwise it would be purely historical. But now we have the Skid Row History Museum and Archive, which instantiates that history because it's useful, and including there's been recent rezoning of the area, and we did an exhibition here with Rostin Wu called The Back Nine, which was about how public processes, usually before them, there's some deals that happen on the Back Nine somewhere. This is the Back Nine. We couldn't get rid of it because we like to be where the deals are happening. So anyway. So we've been here for about 10 years, and we want to hold on to the place, even though, as you all know, there's like, funding crisis going on. But we're intrepid and we're ingenious, and so we're not, we're going to figure it out. And but anyway, we're very happy to have been approached by the Fowler to be part of, to be a part of the fabulous exhibition they're doing, construction occupation, and to have this event here and to be able to hang out with Raphael Escobar, who's one of the artists there and whose work we're going to hear about tonight, because he's really one of the people you want to hang out with while you walk through the neighborhood. And so anyway, I'm going to get out of here, and I think, Alex, you're going to talk next, or somebody else?
I'm going to talk.
Okay, sorry.
Good evening. It's really a pleasure to be here on the east side at the Los Angeles Poverty Department Skid Row Museum and Archive. My name is Sylvia Forney, and I'm the Shirley and Ralph Shapiro Director of the Fowler Museum at UCLA. And we're really happy to be able to have this program here tonight and to create this connection between our exhibition and the activities of this museum and what's happening here. We're grateful to John Malpede, Artistic Director of LAPD, Henriette Brewers, Associate Director of LAPD, and Pamela Miller, Chief Operating Officer, for their wonderful partnership in making tonight's program happen. And I just want to briefly tell you a bit about construction occupation, although we'll hear more about the activities of Escobar and other things. If you haven't had the chance to come and see it, construction occupation opens Saturday and will be on view at the Fowler Museum until January 11, 2026, so there's lots of time. And this exhibition talks about São Paulo, but also tries to draw thematically a direct line between São Paulo and Los Angeles, and reflects on the profound impact of art and activism in shaping the urban landscape. This collective exhibition examines the intersection of art, activism, and social justice through the lens of urban transformation. The exhibition brings together 24 artists and collectives, primarily from Brazil, whose radical vocabulary challenges conventional boundaries between art and activism. It's a visual and intellectual challenge that invites us to reconsider our assumptions about the power of public space and collective action. This exhibition was curated by Associate Professor Ungprateeb Flynn from UCLA's Department of World Arts and Culture and Dance, alongside São Paulo-based curators Juliana Café and Yuji Raphael. Construction occupation is an exploration of how urban spaces can be reimagined, reclaimed, and transformed through collective action. And tonight we have a chance to make this connection between São Paulo and LA even more tangible through this conversation with one of the featured artists, Raphael Escobar. And without further ado, I'm gonna call Alex here to introduce the conversation, introduce Escobar. Thank you.
Hello everybody, good evening. My name is Ungprateeb Flynn and I'm one of the co-curators of this exhibition that this is part of the public program of the show. I curated the exhibition alongside Yuji Raphael and Juliana Café, who are sitting here in the second row. And it's such a pleasure to be able to present the work of Raphael Escobar like tonight. So this kind of exhibition, plan, we've really been working on it since 2016, it's a long time. And when I moved here in LA in 2021, one of the first people I met was Henry, the archivist here in LAPD. And this was this moment where he was telling me about the practice of the LAPD, and we were thinking about our artistic practice in São Paulo, and I thought, wow, there's some really strong connection here. There's this really kind of interesting way of approaching the city, placing art and activism into dialogue, and thinking about the actual kind of preservation and transformation of these urban structures. And then later on, like hanging out with John and with Henriette, and like coming to walk the talk, and like this kind of joyful kind of like going through the city, and the body in public space, and the music, and the joy, and the charisma, and the incredible talent of those people performing. That's when we really started to think more in depth about how to place that practice into dialogue with Escobar's. So Escobar has a lot of different practices and interventions in São Paulo. He has a practice, a social practice, that he's been working in the equivalent of Skid Row in São Paulo, which is called Cracolândia, for over a decade. And this is a space which has just so many connections with this space, just a few blocks down here. It's in the downtown São Paulo. It's got a huge booming arts district kind of pretty much next door. It's got that kind of tinge of gentrification kind of hanging over it. And Escobar's been working in that space in this longitudinal sense for years and years and years. And as we all know, that working in that community sense, it requires the building of a strong base of relations and a strong ethical code. And being able to work coherently with people and to build that trust, I think is also something that really connects the LAPD and Raphael Escobar's work. So without further ado, to echo Sylvia, and I'll pass to Escobar. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I need to explain to you. I have a Latin English very difficult, but I need to explain this First of all, I need to. What? I need to tell. I'm so excited. I arrived 7 days, and today I'm feeling in home in this territory and in LAPD. And today, John and I forgot your name. Grabbed me to Skid Row, and well, when I talked with people in Skid Row, I remembered a lot of my territory, and my heart was warm, and I need to tell this, and I prepared a PowerPoint, a presentation about my work, artistic work, about contemporary art, but this moment today, I gonna explain more one part of my work, because today is an important day, And my presentation, where is my presentation? Okay, here. Oh, God. My presentation, the name of my presentation, or the name of how I think my work is the midfielder. Midfielder is this camisa 10, this shirt 10 of soccer, no?
Yes.
That this man or woman who articulates the ball into front of the guard, the field, or defense or attack, I think about this defense or attack like I think about street and museum, street and institution. Well, I articulate the ball and attack or defense or museum or institute or street or people and well, I do this type of work, I have my references, and it was important show the people that do this before me, this presentation, these names is other presentations I show these same names, okay? But Monica Nador is a person of Jamac in this exhibition, is very important to me. But Monica Nador, this group named Jamac, Jardim Miriam Art Club, is a group that works with art, stencil art, in a hood of São Paulo, Jardim Miriam. And they works about stencils, but to reorganize their homes, because in the first project of Jamac, the name is Paredes Pinturas, like wall and paintings. The work is painting the homes, the wall of homes, but build the walls, passa massa, plaster, pass the plaster in these houses. Plaster. Sorry. Tester Gates, I don't know if you know, is an artist of Chicago. And Tester Gates, your work, his work is a lot of types of work, but this work about use your work in the galleries to sell, take the money and buy a building in Chicago to construct a library, cultural centers, and him create a new neighborhood to the people of this neighborhood. No, it's about occupying this space of your culture. No, and it's very important to me, this reference. And Dias Hidweg, Maurício Dias e Walter Hidweg, two artists, one from Brazil and the other from Swiss. Yes, I don't know. Yes, and to me, this artist is very important because when I did my final project in university, I need a reference to the type of work I thought in this time, but I didn't have a reference about what I thought, and a friend showed me Maurício Dias and Walter Hidweg, that they works kind of education, kind of art, and the works of them is about create workshops with people or in jails or in hoods, and create something together. And this project becomes public, no? And these three references is very important to me because it's about my works. And my research is about publics. My research is about the midfield. My research is about fun deviation. And my work is about pedagogy through discomfort. And the midfielder I explained about, and this like a graphic to became visual my idea, no? But it's important to show works that you understand this idea. This is Open Bar, is a project that I created in 16. It's a homemade alambic of cachaça. Is a spirit, a Brazilian spirit, no? Caipirinha, do you know? Do you know? And I created this alambic and distributed flyers to people living in the streets to enter in the museum to take cachaça. I distributed 10 flyers, and this I had afraid that the security guard didn't permit the entry of the people. The CEO of the museum prohibited.
He forbid you.
He forbid the work, or people living in the street didn't create interest in entering the museum. But I distributed 10 flyers, and these 10 flyers, 9 people come to the exhibition, take the cachaça, take a lot of flyers, and go to streets, distribute the flyers, and other thank you, other people living in the streets go to museum, take cachaça, take flyer, and this circle was continuous in the exhibition. This flyer circulate all of downtown São Paulo, all, and create lines in the museum to take cachaça, and people living in the street ask about a guard visit in the exhibition to educators of the exhibition, or they felt comfortable in the exhibition to returns in other exhibitions. In the moment I thought about create a public circle, a spheric public, não sei falar isso em inglês, esfera pública.
Public sphere.
Public sphere, for a time specific, but the time is more that I preview, no, and when the exhibition finally, people came to Red Bull, this space named the Red Bull Station, and this thing is important because it's a museum, a cultural center, is not a invited space. This is a space to a group, a specific group. And when other publics enter in this space, is very discomfort, this relationship. But this is interesting because when you have a discomfort, you have to think about this. And why I have a problem with this girl. Not personal. Do you understand me, no? And in this moment, you think about this, and maybe you change your think about this person. It's about this. It's about people living in the street with rich people who pays $60, I don't know, dollars to eat with living in discomfort to create another thing. No, it's about this. And publics, non-publics, anti-publics. Because I told it exists a public to museum. In Brazil, we have a IBRAM, Instituto Brasileiro de Museus, like a Brazilian Institute of Museums. IBRAM said about what is public, what is non-public. Public is all of people that enter in a museum. Non-public is all of people that not enter in a museum, but can enter. And I create a anti-public. That public that no enter in a museum, and museum don't wanna these people enter. No, is a anti-public. It's important to think about non-publics. The worker of museum, security, law, faxina, cleaning, is not a possible public to museum. They not a non-public. They are a anti-public. Okay, it's important to understand this. For me, my public is the non-public and the anti-public. Okay, and my work is about these publics in a museum. This work is user or drug user. I don't know okay, drug user, not okay. It's a test of drugs, of quality of drugs in Brazil, with LSD, okay? Marijuana, cocaine or crack is the same drug, no? And MDMA, like ecstasy, crystal of MD, no? And I distributed it's difficult to speak in Portuguese. In English, is horrible. Colorimetric tests to people living in the streets or living in rich neighborhoods in São Paulo. I asked to send a photo of the test and how much you receive in your work and what's your neighborhood. And I create this tabela, this map, perfect. This map of quality of drugs in Brazil. It's obvious the poor people had a drug not poor. But the most important is the rich people use drugs. But in Brazil, only poor peoples are arrested to use drugs. No? But it says rich people use drugs. And in this work, there's this shelf, these shelves with the components that modifying the composition of drugs, but the components that is legal in Brazil. Sugar, I don't know, aspirin, other things. And is this work? The sugar is more dangerous that sugar is more dangerous than marijuana, for example. And elders saw this because that text explain the problems of sugar. Elders, oh my God. And the security of this exhibition explained to all of visitors the work. The security guard is my public. He understood the work, and he was my personal educator in the exhibition to explain other folks in the exhibition. Continuous anti-publics. This is Cracolândia, and in left, dentinho, like small teeth. Badaroz in the center, in the right, Felipa. And Dentinho is a painter. No. Dentinho is like a conceptual artist. Badaroz is a painter. Felipe is a dancer of Cracolândia, of Cracolândia. No? And they have a lot of horrible experiences about your works in museums, because security guard don't permit the enter of them in their exhibitions, okay? And I need to explain about Pagode na Lata. Pagode na Lata is a group of samba created in Cracolândia in 16 that founded for people living in the streets or under a roof, and like me. Is a social workers and people living in the streets, okay? In 16, Goethe Institute invited me to create a work with people in Cracolândia. My work, I record artists of Cracolândia in studio, and they have your musics, no? And another part of project, I sit in the sidewalk with Fabio Poeta, an artist of Cracolândia, and I said to him, I don't wanna do workshop of painting in fluxo. No. And we think about this, and we have idea to create a group of samba, but a group of samba that not play in fluxo, in the concentration of users. In another point, now two people came and saw these artists and create other visions of these artists, no, of these people. It's not about crack, it's about samba, no? And when Pagode na Lata is like samba in the can, no? When the first time we did the circle of samba, we had a can, two people take changes to us. Podia ser joint, né? And in this day we received seven reais. And today, Jurandir received per month 2,005 reais. Jurandir didn't live on sidewalks more. He rent a room, and he got a TV. He loves soap opera, and he used crack. Okay, but if he works tomorrow, today he don't use. No? And this work is about harm reduction. Harm reduction is a policy of care. You know, no? But the idea of harm reduction is create bond with syringes, pipes. We create bond with samba. Thank you. I love you. And we use the term pagode entre pares, like pagode beyond us. I don't know. In pairs, like this. Pagode is a like of samba, a type of samba. Samba is not bossa nova. Bossa nova. Samba. Bossa nova white. Samba no. Okay? Samba and pagode is more popular than samba. No? And pagode entre pares is like when my group of users play in spaces of care users. In this moment, a user turn a social worker. Okay? Another moment is sua alegria é minha moradia. Your happy is my life. Is the history of Jurandir. No? Today, this group that plays in a street, plays in shows, in house of shows in São Paulo, in museums in São Paulo. We arrived to Brasília to play in Planalto, I don't know, the space of President Lula. Important. This group create another layers of thinking about Cracolândia. This group. And this group today is the representation of Cracolândia in other spaces. No? People in Cracolândia, when saw 3 days ago, Fowler posted this about this presentation, about this lecture. One drug user that have Instagram saw, and he comments, our street in LA. It's about representation to these people. Is very important, no? Because we are creating another layers, no? With samba, with street, because samba is like an onion. Onion, we have the petals, layers. Yes. onion, there's the layers, and the samba is the same, and the layers is people dancing, people take a can to play, take a gun to play, no? Take a fry pan to play, and it's about samba. It's about collective. It's about group. It's about recognize in other. No, it's very important to samba, and the idea of samba to Cracolândia is very important. No, because I'm saying. Cracolândia is like a rave, and that and there's 3 dance floors in Cracolândia. Samba, rap, and Brazilian funk. Okay, but samba. Rap, you need a speaker. Funk, you need I don't know, but samba, you need a olive bucket. You need a fry pan. You need a, understood? Is easily to do samba, no? And is an onion. The first layer and the other layers. You saw here. No? And we talk about nostalgia and happy. And because when they play, they they remember their stories about samba, because a lot of people know, all people in the streets, there's a story. Antes, sempre esqueço antes, gente. Before the streets, no? These stories is about samba, it's about art. You here an exhibition, no? And when we play, it's about recognizing your history, no? And I think I speak a lot, no? No? Okay? 5 minutes? Perfect, thank you. Well, and this autonomy of these artists is important. And this is Pagode na Lata. This is about the story of fund deviation. And when the cultural institution take the money to me, to artists, and I create a public work with people in the streets, and its work becomes public in a museum, no? The Pagode na Lata plays in museums, no? And there's a movie in construction occupation with Pagode na Lata. Another part is the Sound of Maloca. The Sound of Maloca is a project with Pagode na Lata, with Cracolândia, a carnival parade of Cracolândia, with MC Meia-Noite, this man, and MC Midnight, okay, MC Midnight, this man, Denis Alberto, this man, and Cowex, MC Cowex. This project begins in this project in 17 in same project of Pagode Latin with Gitch. But I record Denis and Meia-Noite. After that, with other institutions, I record other artists and create Gitch, Casa do Povo, Coleção Moraes Barbosa, Instituto Moreira Salles. And we create a documentary about the story of Cracolândia, with a musical documentary. And that's that's in the exhibition, Construction Occupation. And it's about professional experience, obviously, the right to have your music, and paid for your work. No, it's very important. I think my work is about money. Okay, it's about how to deviation this money. Okay, and is this importance. But we create a vinyl. This vinyl is to sell, and the money is divided with all artists of the vinyl, no? But it's a historical document, no? And this vinyl is in collection of MAC, Museu de Arte Contemporânea de São Paulo, and other in Casa do Povo. Okay.
My personal collection.
Your personal collection. In MACBA of Barcelona. Well, all here will dead a moment, no? But museum, this story is registered in museums, because museum got the official history, no? And the official history of Cracolândia is in these museums. It's very important. It's about create our narrative, because LAPD do this, no? An archive here, no? This vinyl is our archive, okay? And I will finish with samba rap funk, and that it's different but very similar, because I thought to talk about these differences, but I talk about a lot, okay? Is this? Thank you. What's your name? Thank you. Do que? Eu só ia falar. Yes, because I'm only will say about this different, but samba rap and funk, it's about it's created for black people in hoods in your countries, obviously, and but they have war of dance in 3 types of dance of music, but we talk about this in.
Escobar, come back. Yeah. Don't go anywhere. So Escobar, thank you so much for this presentation. And what we wanted to do was speak with John Escobar like together, and to kind of think about how these practices, which exist at such a long distance away from each other but have so many connections, like how we might think about those a little bit. And I just wanted to kind of start off with this, with a really broad question for you both, which is, what is, for both of you, like the power of music in your practice? Because I see this as something that is so intrinsic to what you both do and what you have both been doing for, in the case of LAPD, the 40th anniversary, which is amazing. Congrats. And for Escobar's practice of over a decade in Cracolândia, like, what is it about what are the contours of this musical practice? What is it that brings people together? How do you see that? And what can we identify as kind of something of like a universal that connects, you know, two cities which a lot of people would never connect by themselves, right? LA and São Paulo, like who would connect those two cities? You know, I don't know how many people have like been to Brazil in this room, right? Obviously those who are not Brazilian. But like, what is it about music that connects these different practices?
Well, as a profoundly unmusical person myself, I would say there's a huge amount of music in Skid Row, and I can point to Lorraine in the back, who's a wonderful singer, Footy as well, who's anyway, there's lots of music in Skid Row, and but what there hasn't been in Skid Row was a place for people to congregate. One of the people who used to be in Skid Row, but now in LAPD, Walter Fears, was in a drum group, and they were constantly getting arrested by the police by playing their drums on the street, and their drums confiscated and stuff like that. So we had done a lot of music. We had done many different music things, but we started 16 or so years ago. We started the festival for all Skid Row artists, which is just what the name implies. We run through the streets like we did this afternoon, telling everyone there's going to be a festival, they can participate in it. And over the 16 years, we've identified over 1,000 different people. I mean, some people have played every festival, but 1,000 different people have played, and most of them were musicians. And so it's a way of it's a way of giving creative space to the neighborhood when there wasn't any, because we didn't have this space. Now there are a couple physical spaces, there weren't any. And also, a way of instantiating the neighborhood and identifying the creativity is important. I mean, LAPD from the beginning was always like, the reason to get out of bed in the morning is to do something. I mean, I think this is true for everybody, to do something that inspires you, that mixes your, creativity with everything else. So for me, it's a little different. It's like first coffee and then that. But for most people, it's just. And I want to say also, you should really go see the exhibition at the Fowler. It's really profound. There's a lot of wonderful stuff there.
I don't know. For me, it's about gathering, no? Because I'm an artist of fine arts, no? Conceptual art, I don't know. But it's very individual, no? Don't know. If I paint if I will paint, it's me, my phone, and is lonely, no? The music, you need others. And is this, if you don't in the circle of samba, if you don't of part of the band, you are part, because you dance or you take a gun to play, no? And it's easy to participate, and the idea of group, the idea of collective is very beautiful in music, no? Particularly of samba in my case. No, is this, and when you see, I don't show to you, but when you see, you are in a house of show with 500 people singing the same song that one man of Cracolândia play. No, it's very important. It's very, I don't know. And the song, another thing. The sound is about vibrance. No. Painting. If you don't wanna, you close your eyes, turn your head. Sound. Hey, is this no? It's very abusive relationship with sound. And it's important because you need to live with this. No, I don't know. I thinking.
But is there also this idea, like John, you also mentioned this idea of occupation, right? This idea of being able to take a place, to be able to establish yourself. You said to instantiate, like now you have this space here. And previously, when you didn't have this space, this was a way of actually carving out a space in the street and actually creating a public space, right, through sound, through the occupation of sound. I was wondering, like, also if you could speak, both of you, a little bit about the body, right, in public space, because this was something for me, like with Escobar's, I said before that Escobar had different kind of artistic kind of initiatives, the pagode na lata, this samba circle where you pass around the can and everyone puts money in the can at the end of the performance. You started off with like the equivalent of $1 in the can at the end of the night, and now like someone's like earning like much more than minimum wage, like double minimum wage per month, and is like renting his own apartment and has a TV, right? Because the thing is just blown up, and like people are kind of coming and see the shows, 500 people. Like, what is it about the body in public space which is so kind of intrinsic, I think, to both your practices, whether it's like walk the talk and the Cracolândia in your case, which is like this kind of the body of people who supposedly should not be in particular spaces, migrating through those spaces.
Yeah, well, you mentioned walk the talk. We started Walk the Talk as a parade. We do every 2 years.
Yeah.
We have a community nominating process, and people are identified who've made contributions to Skid Row, and it's a range of people, from people who started the Downtown Women's Center to a muralist or something like that. So it's a range. The idea of it was to elevate the unseen people by putting them in parity with the people that were more visible. But we started it at the time when during the Safer Cities initiative, which was an upside down construction. It was the broken windows policing. When at the time, I think over 50% of the jaywalking tickets written in Skid Row, the 50 blocks of Skid Row, over 50% of the jaywalking tickets written in the 4,000 in the entire city of Los Angeles were written in Skid Row. And if you didn't pay them, then the next time you got a jaywalking ticket or anything, you would have a warrant for your arrest, and then you would go to jail. So it was a if we weren't living in the current moment, you would say it was a very cruel policy, but now we say, oh, it's relatively nice compared to life now. But no, in terms of the policing, it was a very cruel policy. And so when we did Walk the Talk, which was originally going to be, it came about, it was a public art idea, it was to put the Hollywood Walk of Fame in the pavement here. But because of gentrification, a lot of people who had done important work in Skid Row were now, their star would be in a neighborhood where in a block where maybe people didn't want it. And that's exactly what happened. And so the city council person at the time in the business district said, we don't want that here, and so then we turned it into a parade. And but at the time when it was impossible to go down, to be in the street without getting a ticket, we suddenly had hundreds of people and a brass band and artist portraits all dancing down the street all afternoon. So it was was very much, as you would say, an occupation, as instantiation and a timeout. This is what's really going on.
Yay. And even the police was happy because they didn't arrest anyone. Yeah.
Yes, to me it's very similar. Cracolândia is a carnival parade that walk in the streets that have a lot of museums and cultural centers that don't permit these people enter, or that not permit this culture enter, no? And the neighbors have sempre esqueço preconceito. Prejudice with people in Cracolândia. But in Carnival, this thinking change a little bit, but change. And when you see a neighbor down the stairs and dance with a user that last week he called to police to arrest this same people. No, it's very beautiful, this transformation. And this Carnival Parade is a specific experience in Brazil, because Carnival is a lot of people in Brazil loves Carnival. And when you see a band, you go dance, no? When you repair, is a band of Cracolândia. It's very good, this. And is about, I said this, is about that discomfort, no? Because you need to dance, but you need to dance with a people that you don't like or you didn't like. And it's very beautiful, this change happening, no? Is this?
And how do you see like this kind of transformative power of art? Like, 'cause it's a lot talked about, and you both have a lot of experience, years of experience working in this field. No one can pretend that this is utopia. It's not like things can change overnight. But I think it would be great if you could sort of share with us from your experience how you see that transformative power. What are its contours, what are its excesses, what are its limitations, what are its possibilities?
Well, what you just said resonated with me quite a bit. In other words, when you get the person who thought they didn't like someone dancing with them, and suddenly their consciousness is transformed a little bit. I mean, I think that is something, that's really art. We were having football or soccer metaphors earlier, but now we're going to have baseball metaphors because the curveball, the knuckle curve, all these weird. Art has the ability to put to put the thing into the confusing thing into the mix, so you can't say, oh, this is that and that's that and this is that and I don't like that and I like that. Suddenly, confusion is a good thing, which creates, creates change, and art has the ability to do that. And I think. Yeah, I think that should be an advantage. And you don't want to, you don't want to just throw fastball after fastball after fastball after fastball, because that doesn't create the surprise that other possibilities do.
Escobar?
I don't know. I think I just answered in other speaks, but I think the culture, the arts, is a kind of tool. No, there's a lot of tools, but art is one of these. And but my social work is another tool, no, and I don't know. I need a lot of types of tools. The work on gallery, the work on museum, is very different types of works, no. The work on streets, the work here, no. Speak is a very important part, but is this a lot of tools to, I don't know, to explode the capitalism? No, because this I talk a lot of money, no, but is another idea of work with money, because it's not a competition of money. It's a gathering for money. No, gathering is very important. No,
Gathering.
Sorry. Gathering is very important to this. I don't know.
I think it would be great if we could open it up for questions. Like, I'm sure we have some questions. Yes, please come here and grab this.
Good evening, everybody. How everybody doing? My name is Minister Footy, and I want to say more like a comment question. Stage that way, right, John? Stage that way. No, I want to say to the gentleman, you are doing what I don't downplay it not one bit, man. What you're doing is like some great things. Like I see like a Mandela movement for your people, man, and what you representing, man. It means a lot to me to see you doing what you're doing. You're the first 4 foot on what you're doing. See, because like as for me, it was John and Adam. They're the same ones. They found me down the Skid Row. They made me who I am. I'm talking about metamorphosis to the Prime Minister, man. I mean, I'm talking about putting me on the stage, let me express my talents all over LA, and I'm talking about, I can't tell you the joy that's brought me. You know, I'll go places now, people don't recognize me. I mean, John put money in our pocket. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, not just us in business, we making money today, you know, really. And I'm very proud of that, and I want you to know that I truly believe that you're the beginning of that. I really do. Because what you're doing is very important. Somebody needs that. Somebody needs that. Big time, big time. I know I needed it at the time when I did. I didn't know, I didn't have any family or friends here. Gave me a sister like Lorraine, showed me the ropes and told me, you know, they seen I had a gift. They showed me how to use it, and I'm very proud that they did. And God bless you and keep up the great work, my brother.
more questions or comments?
Samba, rap, funk, it's different but very similar. So my question is, what are the similarities and what's the difference?
Oh, and okay, samba, rap, funk, Brazilian funk, okay? Samba, rap, funk is three types of music in Brazil that is created for black people, and three, samba is forbidden, was forbidden with marijuana in 1910. And samba have a preconceito, prejudice. This word I don't remember all the times. Prejudice. Samba, there is a prejudice with samba until 90s, and rap begins in São Paulo, in Largo São Bento. Is a metro aqui também é metro, né? Metro station in São Paulo, in downtown. People came of your hoods to downtown to sing, play, and dance. And a lot of people was arrested because like hip hop or not, or because it's poor people or it's black people or no. And the funk, the Brazilian funk, is the third same story. Brazilian funk in this year, a vereador,
Town councillor.
a town councillor proposed criminalization of funk. It is the same history with rap, with samba, no? And the rap, there is a beat, Miami Beach is a kind of hip hop, no? And Miami Beat and the Africa Bambata, electro funk, it's the inspiration of Brazilian funk. If you heard Africa Bambata with I don't know, Claudinho Bochecha, is the same beat. But Brazil is Brazil, no? Brazil don't like the square of beach. Samba don't in the beach in the metronome. It's like one left or one. That is about groove, no? And this funk, Brazilian funk, use this inspiration of samba, and this funk, there's a lot of drums of African music, the same instruments of samba. and the beach turn change to não sei falar isso em, ele dá uma quebrada de ritmo,
Kind of break, it gives a break in the rhythm, gives like a sort of a trip in the rhythm, like a syncopated rhythm.
yes, very similar with samba. In beginning of 2000, MC of Brazilian funk, a Brazilian MC, singing in a show, and the speakers turn off because the energy, I don't know, the speakers turn off, and the DJ said to this man, Catra, improvisa. Catra is the name. Improvise. I don't know. Improvise. And Catra says tu cha cha tu cha tu cha cha tu cha tu cha cha tu cha tu cha cha tu cha. And this is a beat, a very famously beat of Brazilian funk, but is inspired in Miami bass and tamborzinho, like drum of samba, and beatbox of rap. This is tu cha cha tu cha. And there's the dance, and there's the breaking dance, and it's about it's like a war, no? You dispute with other men. You encara, stare in the eyes, no? In 30s in Brazil, there's a kind of dance. Meu Deus do céu. Like você vai traduzir isso. Pernada de Sorocaba.
Pernada de Sorocaba. Sorocaba is a place in São Paulo state. Pernada is like a sort of working the leg, something to do with the leg. Like, what is it?
Yeah, pernada can be like, it's referring to a dance move, right? Like a kind of a kick, or like, but it has many different meanings. It can be like, pernada can be like a long walk, but can be...
No, but more...
Yeah, but it's, I don't know in English, but maybe a kick.
Pernada de Sorocaba. Is this? It's like a dance with origins.
Let's see.
I don't know. It's like a dance. It's like a dance with origins in capoeira, and with samba. Two men get a war, like in hip hop. And in Brazilian funk, there's a passinho. Passinho is
Literally translates as like the little step.
Kind of dance.
It's a kind of dance of Brazilian funk. It's about this war, no? It's this a lot of similarities in three types of music, 3 types of dance, 3 types of plays, but very similar, no?
Do we have some more questions or comments? Yes?
Funk. This is the funk. In America, when you say funk, this is the funk right here, man. You cannot say funk without saying the funk, you know? When you say Banaba, I didn't refer to African Bambata. Did you say you addressed him as You say Catra, right? You say
Catra.
Catra?
MC Catra.
And that, it means what?
That's his name, right? Catra. That's his name.
I think MC is the same as in English, no?
Yeah.
MC is
Yeah,
the same
MC
in
is
English.
MC.
Catra isn't the name.
Yeah, it's his name.
MC Catra. I know a Catra.
Catra. C-A-T-R-A.
It does kind of sound similar to Alcatraz, which is like a steak.
No.
But it's not that.
I'm crying. I thought you said a Catra, which means convict. That's why I said, okay, we good, Joe.
Yeah. I have a question about, I can't quite figure it out yet. You have a relationship to museums and this diversion of funds, right?
Yeah.
Do you have that similar relationship to places that provide social services?
No.
No. So what kind of relationship does the social service sector have to the work?
Well, in 16, I worked on Secretary of Assistance, Secretary of Health, Secretary of Human Rights in São Paulo. In 16 or in 17, a mayor, 2017, a mayor named João Dória fired all workers, social workers in Cracolândia that have a bond with users, no? And me, no? In this year, I became a persona non grata of the mayor. I have 3 processos.
3 like open lawsuits against you.
And I didn't work more because nenhum serviço,
Not any service at all, no service at all.
não service me contratam.
No service at all, no like government institution would contract you.
Yes, and this moment I said okay, I got money with museums, and I use this money with in Cracolândia, but is this no pagode na lata is more than me, no, and today my salary, my most important salary is about pagode na lata. And I turned the strategies, and today the mayors hate me. I need to talk a story. Qual que é o vereador lá? Como que é?
Town council, like council, city council.
A city council in São Paulo sued me, and the police said don't have nothing. The accusation is apology or association with traffic, with dealers, and the police said don't have nothing. And 1 year ago, this same city council opened a CPI.
Like a congressional inquiry.
With my name. And this process don't approve it with other city councils, but the lawyers read the text and saw my name, and in this moment I will sue this city council. I win.
What's his name?
Rubinho Nunes.
So we have a question here.
Hi, yes, I have a few, so I'm gonna think which one. I think this is maybe an impossible question.
Camera's facing this way.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. I think it might be an impossible question, but there seems to be an increasing fear embedded within the narrative of unhoused populations and disassociation of the unhoused populations within our communities. And I'm wondering how you believe in going about that fear and integration.
Explica aí que tem menino cada vez mais crescente de pessoas que estão sem teto, na povo geral, na sociedade geral. Como você pensa em endereçar isso?
I would imagine the opposite. You know, like there is at least. I mean, I hope I'm not generalizing too much, but there is a level of disassociation in what our communities are and who is within our communities.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
It is on both sides, so I was just
Oh,
wondering.
I'm sure it is. I think I'm mainly speaking on the side that I'm familiar with the fact that, and I'd imagine a lot of it's coming from fear, which is what I'm wondering that the alternative would be.
Então, assim, como você seu trabalho de como endereça esse medo cada vez mais crescente?
Go, John.
I'm sorry.
This question is for me?
I guess it's not for
Or both, I think.
Right, it's not for you.
Answer.
So the question is how to break down the fear between people on one side and people on the other side. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I guess, yeah, and how, and what is it means for like integration, in terms of like identifying community as everybody within the community, and not just like this maybe more capitalistic understanding of community. Yeah, yes, I'm sure.
I don't know. I'm just going to grab onto one thing that because it's something we've been working with recently with LAPD. We've been in Skid Row right now. They're building a health center, a Skid Row campus, which is a place anyone can just walk into and get a bed, get medical services, detox if they have to or whatever, and stay there pretty much as long as you want, leading to temporary housing and doing all the paperwork and blah, blah, blah. So this is, to my mind, this is a really important thing because well, that's what's needed. Places you can just walk into and get services in a compassionate atmosphere. Because when you don't have that and you only have convoluted and things like call a number and get somebody to come out and blah, blah, and all this kind of stuff, that creates a huge barrier because nothing ever happens, and then anybody who has goodwill and wants to create one community that is inclusive is frustrated in doing so, and people who have less inclined to do that just become angry and dismissive and worse. So what's needed is accessible, compassionate services. And in Skid Row, this has happened a couple times when the government has listened to the community. Like I was telling Raphael earlier when we were walking through the neighborhood, there's a place called the Refresh Spot, and some of the, like Tom and some of the people in this room were instrumental in several years of conversations about how to create a place where people could use the bathroom, take a shower, and and have access to the laundry 24 hours a day. And what had happened for about 20 years, this was a real comedy, there would be like 10 years of there's no place to use the bathroom, and then finally they'd put out porta potties on the corner, and then someone would complain, and then they would be taken away, and the whole thing would start over for another 5 years. Finally, there was someone in the mayor's office, Elisa Orduña, who listened to the community, and she convened convened with a group of people called the Skid Row.Improvement Coalition, and for a couple of years, and they imagined what is now in reality the Refresh Spot, and they would be staffed by Skid Row residents, so they would have jobs. They would know how to, treat their peers, not only with compassion but with joy, fun and neighborliness and all that. And so it's become a hugely successful thing. The Care Campus is the same sort of model, also based on several years of many meetings with the community coming up with the Skid Row action plan, and this is the first part of it to be realized. So, that's the way to do it. When people actually listen, and then they find out what the good ideas are and they make them happen. That's the way forward, I'd say.
Okay, question here also.
Testing.
Yes.
You know what? Something rubbing me the wrong way is that, and I'm being presumptuous, and maybe I'm being pompous. I'm actually, it saddens me. It just saddens me because it's the same thing, like Sao Paulo, Cracolândia. It's just what you were saying. I understand it, but I just, part of me says, I know everything you're talking about. It's the same thing going on here and there. To me, it's the same thing. I haven't traveled the whole world. I've seen a lot of it. Not even a lot of it. Where I've gone, it just seems the same. And it's terrible because I think, first off, we don't have access to the rest of the world. It's just some blind spot. It's terrible. But I think they're the same people as us. It's the same thing going on. And I just, what I hate is that we don't know that, or we don't see that, and it's just terrible. So thank you for coming. It's like you're a speaker, but it's frustrating to me because I'm like, why don't we see that? There's no place there. There's no different. There's just way too many similarities. It's disturbing how our difficult life is just global in a sense, and these phenomena. So I just wanted to comment on that. It's beautiful, the samba. I think there's really something to music. I think music is like religious. There's like some extra element. There's like something strange about it, like religion or spirituality, something like that, which is when you change the classes of people. Anyway, and it's also interesting to hear about the, I guess, fascist elements of what's happening in Brazil with the people, how they attack. But, because rich people are able to travel the whole world, and they don't even, they don't travel the classes, but they'll go all over the world, but they all are going to hotels. It's basically, they're seeing the same world. And it's interesting how the poverty just seems very similar to me. I just wanted to comment on that, And it rubs me the wrong way that this poverty, I can't even put words to it, but I'm done here. Thanks.
No, I thank you so much for that comment, because it really speaks to something that we were thinking about when putting this show together, which was, what are these commonalities and similarities? What are these points of connection that we can draw? Sao Paulo and Los Angeles are two different cities. They're two of the biggest cities in the Americas, right? North and Southern Hemisphere. But what are these points of connection, right? And I think we've kind of spoken about some of those tonight. But I think it's also important to recognize the differences between those spaces, right? Like the different legal frameworks, the fact that in Brazil, which is something really interesting, is that there is a guaranteed constitutional right to a home, right? It's in constitutional law. So when these occupations occur, on the one hand, it's illegal because it's civil law trespass, right? We're all familiar with trespass. You're not allowed to go into private property or whatever. But in a constitutional law, because of that guaranteed right to a home, there's an ambiguity there. It's like it's the duty of the state to give people fair housing. And I think that's like in New York, for example, with the right to shelter, like it's a reality which is not so far away. I think this kind of legal frameworks and these kinds of the frameworks of the city. We've spoken a lot about like town councillors tonight in City Hall, and actually some of the kind of difficulties in working with them. But I noticed also that both of you have worked with the Goethe Institute, for example. Like you were part of the Worlds of Homelessness program in 2019, just before the pandemic, right? Right. LAPD was part of that. And of course, Escobar's Som da Maloca film was partly financed by the Goethe Institute as well. And I was wondering if you could just maybe comment, like as we're kind of coming towards the end of our time here, like what is it about the specificity of the places in which you work, which shapes the kind of work you do?
100%. Yeah, I mean, really 100%. I mean, I think, as I don't know if I said it earlier, but I think I might have said it when I was at the very beginning of the evening. But I mean, Skid Row has this very special history, and it's not even supposed to be here anymore. It was supposed to have been disappeared in high rise 50 years ago, and it's only because of the people here who cared about it enough and had enough, courage, creativity, and insight to be able to not only preserve it but to make it a dynamic place that continues to improve when and when it's and figured out ways increasingly for it to be recognized and listened to. So yeah, I'd say 100%.
Eu também? Você perguntou como que é?
Qual é a especificidade de Cracolândia, exatamente? Como que isso informa o trabalho que você faz?
I have the same crisis that you have, no? The specificity of Cracolândia, I don't know. Poor people is in a lot of countries, a lot of neighborhoods. It's about class, no? It's a big discussion of class, no? We need to, because I showed it's not the problem is not the drug. Is the problem is the poverty, no? Because it's this right there. It's the Skid Row and a lot of smoke shops, and I love marijuana. It's not about this, but no, it's very complex, no? And in Brazil, marijuana is not legal. It's legal for rich people, no? But I paid yesterday in a joint roll $20. It's very money, a lot of money. Okay, I'm in LA. I'm in Venice Beach. Okay. But in Brazil, the same grams, one man was arrested because 2 grams. Okay, it's not about drug. It's about poverty. It's about class. And my work, it's about money. In my work, it's about class. It's just this.
So thank you very much, John Escobar. Thank you for speaking with us tonight, and thank you all for coming very much. So I'd just like to say that the exhibition Construction Occupation is open. Please come and visit. The Fowler's opening times, Tuesday is closed, Monday is closed. It's open every other day apart from that, and it has a late opening on Wednesday night as well.
And free admission.
And free admission. So please come and see the show. It would mean a lot for us for you to come and check it out. Yeah, the invitation is open. Thank you.